All right, this is page 44. I had given everybody a graph paper. I had you trace it, and then I had you reflect it across the Y or across the X. And then we wrote down the coordinate points. And now I'm going to have you copy 45. So if we reflect across the Y-axis, it's the opposite that changes. We reflect across the Y, the X, the sign of the X changes. So that's positive, negative. So we would write it like this. Here's the X, the first number. And so like, here's an example. If it's a positive 5, then it would change to a negative 5. Okay, here's the X here. If it's a negative, it would change to a positive right here. And that's the one that they did for extra credit. That's why you don't see it on my paper. But it would have been a positive 4 and a positive 6. We're just changing the sign of the X. X is the first number. Then we did reflecting over the Y-axis. Sorry, reflecting over the X-axis. When you reflect over the X, it's the sign of the Y that changes, so it's the opposite. So the Y is the second number. If it's a positive 2, then it changes to a negative 2. If it's a negative 10, it would change to a positive 10 like that. And then the last one is when we reflect over Y equals X. And that's when we switch X and Y. It doesn't have to do with sign changes. It just has to do with switching the order of the X and the Y. Okay, so 8 goes first, now it goes second, 12 goes first, now it goes, sorry, 12 goes second, now it goes first. All right, and then there was a reflection practice. So here it would be 6, 24. All right, pause this if you need to, but I'm going to go and show you page 46. So page 46 had to do with rotating. So rotate means to flip. Rotate means to turn. So here I had you trace, then turn the paper different directions. All right, here is the notes for 47. So if you rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise, you have to switch X and Y and change the sign of the new X. So here, the 3 goes here, the 4 goes here. It was positive, now it's negative. So for this one, it would switch, the negative 3 would go here, the 5 would go here, and change the sign of this one. It's negative, now it becomes positive. Okay, and so then that's what you do. You switch them. For rotating 180 degrees, you change the sign of both of them. There's no switching. So if it's a negative, it's a positive, negative, positive this way. So for that one, so here you just change the sign. Don't change the order, just the sign of both of them, okay? Both of them. So it was a positive, now it's a negative, negative to positive. Here, it would be a positive 7 because it was negative. Here was a positive, now it's negative. 270 means that you switch them. So that means that the X and the Y switch, but you're changing the sign of the new Y value, okay? So that's why the 7 comes up, and then here goes the 3. It was a negative, now it's a positive. So for this one, you put a negative 6, an 8, change the sign of this one. It was positive, now it's negative. And they end up both being negative. So there's a rotation practice for this one as well. So pause this if you need to. Make sure you get all the notes and make sure you do the practice.